Now before we move on and get deep into mixing, there's something I like to do at this point. One of the problems with working with so many tracks is we could lose focus on the EQ balance of all of it. So what I like to do at this point is what I call broad stroke EQ. And here's what I'll do. I'll add an EQ on everything, play around with it a bit, and see if we can't make our track sound better, which is much harder to do on every individual track at the same time. So if we lost focus along the way, using some broad stroke EQ will make things clearer for us. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show the effects returns right over here, just so I can make sure of the order of our tracks. And then I'm going to make a new track over here, below it, and turn it into a folder, which will open like this. Give it our folder color, which is black. And now all our tracks, besides the effects returns, are in this folder. So let's hide this again, right here. And to make sure that they're all in the folder, we'll just mute it and hit play. And we can see that everything is muted, so we're not hearing anything. So all our tracks are running through this folder. So now let's add an EQ to this folder. Let's go to the Reaper EQ right here. And let's play around with adding a high shelving EQ. We can get rid of these. And let's try boosting this to see if it sounds better.
Home from the longest day, baby, you and me. I'll give you everything, baby, you need. Feed your appetite from the moonlight. We can unwind all night, baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby, let your hair down, down, down.
Now if you notice, it sounds a lot better with it on. We're probably boosting a bit too much at 4 dB, but the drums and most of the instruments sound a lot more exciting. When we turn this off, they sound kind of muffly.
Hair down, oh. Hi, got a record on, baby, dance.
But I am noticing one thing. The vocals are now too bright. So I don't think we want to add this to the entire track. Maybe just to the instruments minus the vocals. So let's close this. We'll fix this later, the overloading. And let's go down to our vocals, which start right here. And let's create another folder for those. Let's pop this out. And now all our vocals are in this folder, which we can double check by hitting solo and scroll down and make sure they're all there. So all our vocals are in this folder. Let's give it a color. Make it black as well. And let's name this all vocals. And if you remember, this folder has our reverb and our slap delay. So let's name that, just so we don't get confused. And now we can mute this and still hear all our tracks playing through this folder, because this folder is just for the instrumental tracks. So we'll name it All Music. And now let's hear it with that EQ. Notice how much more crisp that snare sounds? That sounds a lot better to me. And by doing this as a broad stroke, it's a lot easier to manage. But if you notice, we are overloading by boosting this EQ. So let's bring this down a bit to make sure we're not overloading. That looks a lot better. So now let's bring our vocals back in. But because we brought the instruments down a bit, 1.2 dB with that EQ, we may want to rebalance our vocals, which don't have that EQ. So let's start off with the verse vocal.
Home from the longest day, baby, you.
Actually, let's undo that. And let's select this one, and the double, and the throws, and adjust them together.
Home from the longest day, baby, you and me. I'll give you everything, baby, you need. Feed your appetite from the moonlight. We can unwind all night, baby, let your hair down.
Now let's do the chorus vocals all together by selecting the lead, the low, and the high vocal.
Right all night, baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby, let your hair down, 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 hair down. Oh. Hi, got a record on, baby, dance with me. Hands going everywhere, touch me. Yeah. Feed your appetite from the moonlight. We can unwind all.
Let's bring these harmonies down as well.
Feed your appetite from the moonlight. We can unwind all night, all night. Baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. Oh yeah. We can keep it low-fi.
Let's take this out of touch mode because I don't want to record it, and get a level for that.
Run around. Oh yeah. We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby. Baby, let your hair down. Ooh, we don't need to run around. We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby, let your hair down, 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 hair down. Baby, let your hair down. Let your hair down. We don't need to run around. We don't need to run around. We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby, let your hair down, down.
I want to balance that a bit different. Let's start with the lead again.
We can keep it low-fi. Got you saying, oh my baby, let your hair down, down.
Let's do it in the second chorus.
Baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. Oh yeah. We can keep it low-fi.
Then the highs.
Baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. Oh, yeah. We can keep it low fi. Got you saying, oh my. Baby, let your hair down, down, down. Hair down, oh.
Then all together.
Baby, let your hair down. We don't need to run around. Oh, yeah. We can keep it low fi. Got you saying, oh my.
That feels better. And it's a lot brighter and more exciting with the EQ we added to the instruments. But because of that EQ, I think we're bringing out the shaker and the tambourine a bit too much. So let's rebalance those. Let's turn off all the vocals for now. And let's start with our shaker. Let's turn off the tambourine, check out the shaker, and rebalance it. That's better, because the EQ that we added to the instruments is going to affect the high frequency percussion a bit more. So we can adjust the balance to make up for that. Here's the tambourine. That feels better. Let's hear it before. That sounds a lot more exciting with that EQ on. Now we could have put that EQ on all the individual tracks, but it's a lot quicker and more manageable to put it on this folder. So if it feels too bright later on, we can go in here and bring it down a bit. But I kind of like it here for now. Let's hear it with the vocal turn back on.
Home from the longest day, baby, you and me. I'll give you everything, baby, you need. Feed your appetite from the moonlight. We can unwind all night, baby, let your hair down.
That feels good for now. Now in the next video, we're going to start focusing on automating some of the instruments that need to pop out. So let's do that next.